lovely cameos, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Violin, and whether you take your day of rest on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, this weekend is going to be filled with fun and relaxation. We hope. That's what this is for. I'm working with the Starseed Oracle today. Just kind of feel like doing one deck at a time this time. Just kind of what I'm feeling. It's fun to mix all the decks together though, I will say that. And I'm still not good at shuffling like that, but you know, practice makes perfect. Or better at least. And last weekend I started off with a question of how are you guys doing? I think that's really important in our day-to-day life. Just asking each other, just checking in with each other, how we're feeling, whether anything new that's happened in our lives, at least recently. I know it's only been a week, but I like to make sure, because a lot can happen in a week. Ooh, baby steps. Action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. This one is slated for the card shorts. I had this on the list. It was actually one of the next ones I was going to record. So seems like some of you are maybe feeling pulled in a direction, like maybe you're feeling called to do something, but you're really not really sure where to start. And this card is saying just a little bit at a time. Like maybe you don't know where you want to start, but just the small things, like even just figuring out how to get from one point to the next on that journey of following that calling. That's just a small thing, but I think it's super important. So just taking it in small bits. Maybe you can't see like the vision clearly, but as long as you're doing something to work on it, before long you'll arrive at your destination. One of my problems with shuffling like this is that my table is not flat, so it's a little more difficult to, and it keeps like not going between nicely. I really like the background of this card. It almost kind of makes me think of like, I don't know, like circus lights almost, or like like festival lights. I don't know if you can see it all too well, but that's kind of what it makes me think of. All right, all of the first cards are coming out today. We've got Activated Earth. So this one's Power Places, Ley Lines, Trust Where You're Led. So this one I think I uploaded the short for this one, but I just want to refresh my memory. This one is about so maybe some of you are like feeling the pull to go somewhere physical lately. Maybe you're like being pulled to like go visit like a childhood place where you had really good childhood memories, or maybe a place that's considered a sacred place, or maybe just a place where you feel safe and comfortable. And this card is just saying, trust it. Go ahead and go that place. Maybe you'll find something fun or enlightening, or just healing or soothing going there. You never know what you'll find when you step out onto the unknown. I think it's kind of almost a little bit similar to like what we just pulled with baby steps, because that one's about like trusting following your intuition, and then Activated Earth is like trust where you're being led. So looks like doubly so. Maybe you're being called to a certain place or to do something. So this is probably not all of you guys, but for those of you who are feeling it, trust in the calling, trust where you're being led, trust that you're going to do amazing things, and really just work some magic by going where you're being called. We got a big hunka chunka. We're losing some. Ooh. Alright, I'm sorry. It's an interesting card to pull. Defenselessness, righting past wrongs, uprooting. So it sounds like this, as it says, is a card of like righting past wrongs. Maybe some of you are like, so this month seems to be one of listening to your ancestors' teachings, and maybe some of you have been like digging into your ancestors, your ancestry, and your history, your family history, your genealogy, and maybe you've found some less than stellar things, maybe, or some things that you're like, or maybe you're descended from a group that has done things that people in general, and maybe also you, don't agree with. And I think it's time to start. It's a sign that it's time to start doing restitution, doing some reconciling, finally paying that, paying that restitution. Maybe maybe somebody like in your recent genealogy or something has done something to hurt somebody, and maybe it's just time to like start mending that broken bridge, just reconstructing those relationships, like taking out those things that don't serve us, that were used to commit those wrongs, perhaps. Maybe you see like some patterns in yourself that you've seen in like elder members of your family, and you're like, I don't like those patterns. It's time to like stop that generational inheritance and start doing something right. Start making up for it. It's probably not something that a lot of you want to hear, and I think that really part of healing the brokenness in the world is going ahead and apologizing and starting that healing process and starting to make up for those things that were done against people. Really something very important. I think it's kind of an interesting, I think these cards could be connected too, because like trusting where you're being led, and also goes really well with baby steps, because like maybe you're being called to like perform some justice, right some wrongs, but maybe you don't know how to do that, and just like starting out with this little things, like little baby steps, just little like correcting some things that maybe people before you've done before, and you're like, I don't want to do those things. It's time to like be a decent human being and not do like those little things, those little microaggressions or something like that. Ooh. Lifting the level, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. Oh, lifting the veil, not level. That's can't lift a level. This is not a video game. No matter how some of us would prefer it to be that way, or look at things that way. So this is a card of like, maybe you're discovering some things that are less than stellar. Again, this is really going well with, this one goes well with I'm sorry, perhaps. Or it can also be good things, like maybe you're finding some good things as well. Oh, but it's kind of more like you're finding you're uncovering the dark stuff, basically. And it's time to like really cut that out. Just like uproot it, bring it to the light, let the truth shine on it, sort of thing. Again, working well with I'm sorry, which I think definitely if you're like writing past wrongs, maybe this has something to do with like maybe it's time to like dig up those past wrongs and basically cut them out. Anything unaligned must go. So anything that is not in alignment with like God's plan for you or what is appropriate for a human being who loves their neighbors and themselves. Yeah, really just, I'm seeing a lot of, that's interesting. A lot of, we're tearing out the bad to make way for the new. Tearing out the old and the bad and the hurt. The bad things that have hurt that did not shuffle the way I wanted it to. I told you this was supposed to be fun and relaxing, and then we're starting to get into like dark stuff. But I think this is a sign of hope too, because a lot of times people just go along and those horrible things get buried sometimes. So especially for the people who are affected by those things, bringing them to light and finding justice for them kickstarts the healing process. Like, especially with somebody who's been abused, getting that justice means you can finally start to heal. So, sounds like some dark cards initially, but I think it's definitely a hope spot as well. Ooh, Child of the Cosmos. I feel like I've pulled this one in a previous video. The intelligence of the universe lies within you. This is a card that is saying you are loved by the divine. So some reassurance, after that kind of dark spot. Yeah, the intelligence of the universe lies within you. You are loved, you are cherished, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Surrender more deeply to the intelligent flow of life. So this also like factors into the following your intuition, trusting where you're led. Again, just really relying on the path that has been set out for you. And yeah, seeing where it will take you. And also just, yeah, remember that you're loved. I saw this at the bottom. I glimpsed it as I was trying to shuffle. Messenger, serious energy, bringing harmony and balance. Interesting. So this is a card about balance and harmony. Specifically about the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine. So a lot of people nowadays, we're seeing that there's a lot of like toxic masculinity, toxic femininity, and nowadays I think people are going in the right direction of like addressing those toxic stereotypes and starting to get into healthier modes of like healthier masculinity, healthier femininity. So not being like macho all the time, strong, I have to do everything myself, I have to be forceful and temperamental, or maybe not temperamental, but like forceful and assertive in order to get what I need, but just being willing to be soft and gentle and listening, but also protective and loving and appreciative. I feel like that could also go with the some of the other cards that we've just pulled. I feel like it, like finding balance, lifting the veil, defenselessness, fighting past wrongs, or brooding. Maybe some of you are finding that what you have to uproot or deal with has to do with like the feminine versus the masculine, and the feminine and the masculine. So maybe you're being called to right those wrongs by bringing those into balance. I think that's for you guys to decide. And as you can tell, I've got my crystal affirmations deck. I think I'm posting this one first, and then we'll get to the crystal portal oracle. I don't think I could ever get tired of that song. Or sound. I see why Abstioneer's, the foiling on hers is worn down. It's such a good sound. And I think I have these, I had these unshuffled, so we're gonna shuffle them up. Because it's just more fun that way. Oh, that didn't do what I wanted it to at all. You guys, go ahead and check out last week's video. I'll post the link to it, I think, at the end. But last week, I did the Crystal Portal Oracle in tandem with the Crystal Affirmation deck, and we got such good readings, you guys. Like, we were so in tandem. There was so much synchronicity going on. I was just so impressed. Like, I don't think I've ever seen, there's been like maybe 2 or 3 readings I've done for myself maybe that have had that sheer, this is so correct energy, this is exactly what's going on energy. So definitely go check that out. I really enjoyed filming that one. It was a lot of fun. Affirmations. Are you gonna get any affirmations in tandem with what we just pulled? I don't know. I feel like the Moonstruck decks and the Rebecca decks definitely have different energies, and I don't know if they're like have like opposite or the same kind of magnetism sort of thing going on. Like, oh my, what happened here? Sorry, I got distracted. But I almost wonder if there's like some sort of polarity going on with them. So we'll see. We will see if we can get these guys to play nice with each other. Because I really love all of these decks. They're really a lot of fun to work with. Oh, we got a fairly good shuffle. Yay! Vio is starting to succeed. Practice makes almost perfect. Also, I realized that it is, excuse me, it's getting close to being the end of July, and we only have kind of one, I say one, technically we have most of September. We kind of almost have 1 month left. A little bit more of 1 month left of summer. And I'm just kind of like, where did the year go? Like, you guys, this is nuts. Why is July already almost over? Where did 2025 go? That did not fan. A few years ago, when I was like really interested in like cards, like magic and stuff, as in magicians and whatnot, I was really interested in like card magic, but more of like the scale. It's called scaling, but it's really like cardistry, the card throwing and stuff. I was really interested in like throwing cards and stuff like that, and also like doing fans and stuff. A lot of fun, and kind of wonder at some point I might like try and see how good my card throwing game is, because I was a beginner, so I wasn't too good, but I wasn't too bad either. And it looks like we're starting off with Septarian, which is interesting because I'm able to communicate my perspectives while understanding others. I think that works perfectly, you guys, with what we're looking at this today, with restoration and righting wrongs and balance. I think that's really awesome. I think, if I recall correctly, Septarian is like a lower vibe crystal, so some really good grounding to go with this particular reading. Yeah, it says able to communicate my perspectives while understanding others, so really good communication stone, it sounds like. I don't really know much at all about Septarian, and in fact, I don't think I knew it existed before I got this deck. But really, really important for getting that restitution done, like communicating your perspective, watching and listening to others communicate their perspective, and making sure that you understand what they are trying to say as well. A really good exchange, and hopefully some healing comes out of that. Really, really excellent. I love that. Also, I don't know, I should look it up. I don't remember when Mercury retrograde is, but I assume this would be a really good stone for Mercury retrograde as well. Also, I found my original collection, so there will be a video of that eventually. I actually have a pretty good backlog going so far of Tinkle Tuesdays videos, so I'm really happy with that. I'm kind of curious, what's summer like where you guys are at? Is it hot? Is it cooler? Is it rainy? Is it dry? Is it super sunny? Is it kind of more cloudy? What's it like where your summer's at? Oh, that was pretty good. Nice. Good job, you guys. Aventurine. My outlook is optimistic. I'm wrapped in wealth and abundance. Sprinkling some wealth and abundance on y'all. This goes really well with the jade that we pulled last week. Times are kind of goofy here, so just sprinkling that manifesting wealth and abundance on all of you. Doesn't quite go so much, but I think definitely wealth and abundance can be defined in different ways. Like, what is wealth for somebody else is not wealth for another person. Everybody has different definitions of what wealth looks like, and most people might say that it's money. Personally, I feel like there are different types of wealth and abundance. So like you can be materialistically wealthy, you can be spiritually wealthy, and emotionally and mentally wealthy, I think. There's all different types of wealth. Who knows, maybe there's wealth and abundance to you guys who are on the receiving end of this restoration that's going on. For some reason, I'm being reminded of How to Train Your Dragon, probably because of that courage that it takes to like step out and find the truth, uncover the truth, and start to make things right. I actually haven't seen it in theaters. We want to, though. We want to see it in theaters. But that was one of my childhood movies. I had a crush on Hiccup, actually. Makes sense. But I really loved those movies growing up. And also the TV shows are really great as well, really funny. But just that theme of like uncovering the truth and beginning to make right what has been wrong. Also, we've got Tanzanite, which means I attentively listen to guidance from the universe as new paths form around me. So this kind of ties in, I think, with activated earth and maybe also baby steps and child of the cosmos. So just like paying attention, maybe you've got like new opportunities going on around you, or maybe you're being led different areas. Oh, I've remembered that the adventuring go really well with both the Peridot affirmation and the Jade card that we pulled last week. But yeah, Tanzanite, listening to guidance, kind of like this is kind of goes again with trust where you're being led, and that divine intelligence. So just like keeping your mind and your heart open to God. Maybe some of you don't worship like God. Maybe not the Christian God, or maybe just you worship somebody else. But paying attention and being on the lookout for that wisdom. It's such a pretty stone. I haven't like seen any Tanzanite in person, but I looked some pictures up online and it's such a pretty color. Like, oh my gosh, you guys. Vio does not need more crystals in her inventory. Vio will probably end up with more crystals in her inventory anyway. It's all the vibes. And whether I can afford it, too. It's always important to make sure that you are watching your spending. That is part of how abundance comes about. Also, we got kunzite again, which we got last week. I heal my heart through forgiveness and fill it with unconditional love. So this is, again, really going with that restoration and balance and harmony. So getting that restoration, healing yourself by forgiving whoever it is that is making restitution on behalf of whoever it was that did you wrong, or if somebody is directly apologizing to you for something that they have done wrong. Healing your heart by forgiving them. Now, forgiveness is entirely up to you, and you are not obligated to forgive somebody. However, I think that forgiveness is one of the biggest pieces to the healing process if you've been hurt by somebody else. And once you have forgiven somebody, it does not mean that you have forgotten what they have done. It just means that you have accepted their apology and you are saying they've paid their debt, basically. Or it also means that you set them free from that state of guilt. Some people, when they go to apologize, will definitely feel guilty for what they have done. Not everybody. Not everybody feels guilt for what they have done. And I think it's really important to just, again, communicate your perspective and understand that person's perspective. Is that if that person feels guilty for what they have done, you forgiving them also sets the healing on, also sets them on a healing path as well. So they can heal from the guilt and the shame that they have experienced by causing you pain. And, oh man, what was I gonna say? Again, I'm thinking of the K-pop demon hunters again. It's infecting all of us, you guys. It's not a bad thing. It's just very funny that it keeps coming up everywhere. But, if that person genuinely feels guilty for what they have done and wants to make things right, forgiving them will allow them to heal and do better from what they have done before. Encourages them to do better. Yay, we got rose quartz! So we got rose quartz last week. I'm sorry I didn't show you guys kunzite very much. We did show it last week. But we got rose quartz from the Crystal Portal Oracle last week. The affirmation for this one is, I am very worthy and deserving of love. My heart is ready to forgive and overcome. So again, going with the kunzite, going again with this theme of, where is it? Where art thou? Child of the cosmos. Being loved, being appreciated, being held for who you are, and also, again, forgiving, righting past wrongs. Ready to forgive and overcome. I'm really impressed, you guys. I did not know whether these cards would be in sync, but it looks like they're yelling at us today, which I always find very entertaining, especially when it's cards when it's from two different decks, from two different people. I'm really loving that they're working together, you guys. I'm really happy about that. Also, some last minute tappies. I'm really impressed, you guys. I didn't know what we were gonna, I never know what we're going to get whenever I do these. So it's always kind of entertaining for me as well. And also a learning experience, I think. It's so tasty. You guys gotta tell me if you get tingles from this. Cause like, I genuinely enjoy the sound, but I don't know if any of y'all get like tingles. And I forgot to put my disclaimer that this is really all for fun and tasty sounds, so y'all don't have to take any of this too seriously. But if you felt like this was helpful, or if you really resonated with the messages that we just got today, or if you just really appreciated the tingly sounds, you got some really yummy tingles, then I'm happy to have worked a little bit of light in your life. I think that's all for today. I will see you next time around. Stay sparkling, cameos!